thank you. My director just told me all the best. Good evening. Welcome to Primetime News this Friday evening, the 30th of May 2025. Glad you're tuned in to be informed on what's happening in the country and beyond our borders. Our reporters have been up and about, interacting with different issues and different people, and they have brought you different stories tonight. Here are the top ones. Families stand with Kalonzo. Gachagua urges Kamba community.
Tabia Kasongo alipoamua kunifukuza, nikamwambia sisi ni mafundi. Hii nyumba yako sisi ndio tulijenga. Kujenga nyumba ni mwaka moja. Hii jamaa ni siku moja.
Okoa Uchumi Group rejects President Ruto's apology, terms it a mockery.
We, the Okoa Uchumi campaign, categorically reject the weaponization of conditional apologies.
Unity over politics as Western Kenya leaders back Nzoia Sugar revival.
Zungu anasema debe ikiwa haina chochote inapiga kelele sana, lakini kama debe imejaa maji or any other substance huwezi kusikia kelele yake.
And family in agony after disappearance of kin shortly after court appearance.
Omba wanisaidie ili tujue mahali hako mzima ama hako wapi. Huyo Jaka mwenyewe atuambie alimweka upande gani, na serikali wanisaidie kwa sababu ya hao watoto wasome.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. And I'm joined by my brother in red, who goes by the name Sammy Okello in the sign language interpretation tonight. Join us in 40-45 minutes as we inform you on what's happening in the country and beyond. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called for unity between the Mount Kenya community and the Kamba community ahead of the 2027 elections. Gachagua urged the Kamba community to firmly stand with Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. The DCP leader said this during the opposition rally held at Matu town in Machakos County. Other leaders present included the host Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, and Justin Muturi.
Nataka kuomba ruhusa kwenu mtupatie huyu kiongozi Kalonzo Musyoka tukatafuta serikali pamoja.
We shall be coming with a full package of that particular story in a few minutes, but let's first go to the Luoland, where former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has urged government to address the ongoing conflict between Kenya and Ugandan fishermen. Speaking the final day of the economic conference in Homa Bay County, Raila said more must be done to unlock the full potential of the blue economy in Kenya.
While addressing the Blue Economic Conference held at Tomboya University in Homa Bay County, ODM leader Raila Odinga called on the government to protect Kenyan fishermen from continued harassment by Ugandan security officers. He also pushed for diplomatic engagement between Kenya and Uganda over disputed islands in Lake Victoria, which he says belongs to Kenya, but are currently being used by Ugandan authorities.
With the agreement that the blue economy is part of the new trend going into the future, we need to roll out a clearly understood and implementable policy of training and deploying an army of ocean scientists, marine biologists, seafarers, petroleum engineers, fishers, and many other maritime professions to help us explore and exploit the full worth of our maritime bodies.
Raila commended the current efforts to grow the blue economy, but noted that more decisive action is needed to help communities along the coast and lakeshore benefit fully. He highlighted the importance of environmental protection around lake and seashores to ensure sustainable development. In a rare nod of support, Raila backed the Ministry of Marine Affairs' recent move to acquire special aircraft designed for search and rescue missions at the sea. He described the initiatives as a critical step to ensuring the safety of seafarers and fishermen facing emergencies on water.
As rightly identified, the blue economy as a potential source of inclusive economic growth, job creation for the youth and riparian communities, food and nutrition security, sustainable aquaculture, and conservation and climate resilience, among others.
Also speaking at the same conference, President William Ruto announced the plans to place beach management units, also known as BMUs, under cooperative societies. According to the President, this structure will ensure that fishermen and local communities reap direct benefits from marine and lake resources.
And it is the reason why we took up the responsibility to transform the beach management units from social organizations into economic units.
So I want to assure you that we have briefed the President. He's now fully aware, and I am sure he will engage you on the issues to do with the support programs, the support infrastructure, the value chain, the market access, the security issues.
The President, who is on a 4-day development tour of the Nyanza region, is expected to launch several key projects. His visit is being viewed as a strategic effort to woo political support in the region. Stephen Masha, KUTV, Nairobi.
And Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku has ordered the immediate suspension of 3 senior National Youth Service NYS managers over misconduct. Speaking in Ruaraka, Ruku emphasized the need for strict accountability and announced a series of reforms aimed at strengthening youth training and financial sustainability within the NYS.
The government has moved swiftly to restore order and integrity at the National Youth Service. Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku has confirmed that suspension letters have been served and enforced against 3 senior managers accused of misconduct and mismanagement. He also unveiled bold reforms that aim not just to clean the house, but to rebuild it brick by brick.
I received letters of suspension of some of the senior managers or managers in National Youth Service. I don't want to see more such letters. So let's do what is right. And those who are here and they are senior in management and you feel that you can't do what is right, please just add in the resignation letter and you can go and do other things. We have to do what is right.
He stressed the efficient and transparent management of resources is vital to the National Youth Service mandate. According to Ruku, any form of exploitation or mismanagement not only dents the institution's reputation, but also undermines the opportunities meant for young Kenyans.
All the resources which we are getting must be managed steward in the most appropriate way.
CS Ruku also called on the National Youth Service Council to fast-track commercialization efforts, arguing that making the service financially self-reliant is no longer optional, it's a necessity. He noted that this model will support the government's goal of training 100,000 youths annually by 2027. For context, the Gilgil facility alone currently trains around 20,000 youths, a number Ruku says needs to grow, ideally without doubling the budget.
We have to increase the intake of young youth of the Republic of Kenya to the National Youth Service by the year 2027 to 100,000. And if possible, we should go beyond that.
In a further push for reform, the Cabinet Secretary announced plans to propose amendments to the National Youth Service Act in Parliament. These amendments aim to foster collaboration between National Youth Service, the Ministry of Sports and other government departments, ensuring that even young Kenyans who are not absorbed directly into the National Youth Service still benefit from the national support programs.
The very key ministry which will be established for operation and discussion, and we see whether we can have a memorandum of understanding across the Ministry of Public Service and probably the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
The National Youth Service is now on a path of reform, powered by promises and driven by integrity. But as with many public sector pledges, the real challenge will be turning big talk into visible change and making sure this is not just another file that gathers dust on someone's desk. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
And the Okoa Uchumi Group has strongly condemned President William Ruto's remarks during the National Prayer Breakfast, where the head of state asked Kenyans for forgiveness over what he described as any missteps the government might have made. The group dismissed the apology, terming it a mockery, particularly to Gen Z families who lost loved ones, those whose kin were abducted, and journalists who were brutalized in the line of duty. Speaking during a press conference in Machakos County, members of Okoa Uchumi said the president's call for forgiveness rang hollow without accountability, demanding justice, stating that forgiveness should not be a political soundbite, but a process backed by genuine justice, reform, and consequences for wrongdoing.
We, the Okoa Uchumi campaign, categorically reject the weaponization of conditional apologies. The apology was well framed in broad, non-committal terms without reference to concrete issues or clear commitment. We are grieving that over 60 youth have been shot dead, another approximately 89 citizens abducted and forcefully disappeared, journalists and critics surveilled and threatened, neighbors' sovereignty trampled on in cross-border impunity. Our budgets have been looted and priorities distorted.
When will justice begin for the youth murdered during peaceful protests while rogue police officers continue to walk free, even as graves remain unmarked and questions unanswered? Where is the inquiry into enforced disappearances and abductions?
The president must take firm stance when Kenyans face mistreatment in neighboring countries. A national inquiry into the extrajudicial killings, disappearance, and state violence led by independent actors and victims' families, and immediate redress and reparation for victims.
From Kutv County, allied to Governor Gideon Mung'aro, have taken a swipe at Kenya Road's board chairperson Aisha Jumwa, accusing her of poking her nose in county matters and suggesting, rather pointedly, that she should focus on fixing roads and not political potholes. Take a look.
During a public address in Jilore Village, Kilifi County, a delegation led by Malindi MP Amina Mnyazi called on Kenya Roads Board Chairperson Aisha Jumwa to concentrate on her national mandate. Mnyazi stated that the people of Kilifi are firmly on the road to development with Governor Mung'aro, implying that Jumwa's detour into county politics is both unwanted and unnecessary.
Na moja ya sababu kwa nini mheshimiwa gavana wewe ndio umekalia hiki kiti kama rais wa jimbo ni kwa sababu ya ule utendakazi wako ambao unaofanyia watu wako wa Kilifi. Sasa yule ambaye yuko nje hajui maana ya kuwa gavana ni nini, anapiga mdomo na kupiga makelele, sisi tutamwachia kazi hiyo.
Shela MCA Twahir Abdul Karim chimed in, warning Jumwa that her current position might be headed for a dead end if performance doesn't improve, stating that her political GPS might need recalibrating if she thinks she's still running the show in Kilifi.
Wale wapinzani wetu ambao kwamba walipewa kazi ya kwanza na William Ruto ya kuwa waziri wa kina mama na mipangilio ya kijamii, mambo ya women empowerment, na hakuna lolote la maana ambalo kwamba lilionekana limefanyika.
Politician Peter Ponda also weighed in, accusing Jumwa of dragging Governor Mungaro's name through the mud, urging her to concentrate on national roads and steer away from the county lane.
Kuna mtu ambaye anazunguka hapa na anazunguka hapa, kazi yake hana kazi nyingine ni kuambia Mungaro hafai. Hana kazi nyingine ni kuambia kwamba Mungaro anaharibu sijui ni wapi. Tunataka kuambia Mheshimiwa Mungaro tuachie sisi. Kwa sababu huyu mtu amekuwa women rep, amekuwa mbunge, amekuwa waziri, na sasa anakuja kutufundisha ni nini ambayo inatakana kufanywa. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema ya kwamba hii maneno ya kudanganywa imefika mwisho.
Aisha Jumwa, who lost the Kilifi gubernatorial race to Mungaro in 2022, was later appointed Cabinet Secretary for Public Service before being moved to the Ministry of Gender and National Heritage. Her pride through cabinet ended in June 2024, when the Gen Z-led anti-finance protest effectively hit the brakes on the entire cabinet. The leaders closed ranks behind Mungaro, urging Kilifi residents to ignore political distractions and rally behind a shared development agenda on tarmacked progress. Magdalene Kanini, KUTV.
Thank you, Magdalene Kanini, for that wonderful story. It's now 22 minutes past the top of the hour. Time for us to take a short break right here on KUTV Primetime News. When we come back, we have a lot more, so keep it here.
Tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu. Kwa vijana wenzangu wengi walio wana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili
bila uoga. Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
KUTV nilipatia mahali pa kunawiri makali yangu.
KUTV imenisaidia sana, and hadi wa leo I still meet people who tell me, si wewe ulianzeaga KUTV?
Hadi ukuamini. Sikuamini. Mfano kabisa ningesema hujambo mtazamaji kwa sauti, lakini wakati huu nikisema hujambo yani inakuja na ile command.
Back then, as much as it's a long time ago, they still recall.
Unakumbuka nilikuwa hapa KUTV wakati huo. Alafu simu ikaingia namba 0719. Hello, this is the Standard Group.
So it shows that visibility is definitely important.
Nikilinganisha safari hizo mbili, kuna utofauti mkubwa sana.
It was a dream come true for me.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. Welcome back, and remember you can stream this live broadcast on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Our conversation is happening at KUTV_Kenya on X. Now, in Bungoma County, leaders from Western Kenya have thrown their weight behind the government's plan to revive Nzoia Sugar Factory, calling for unity and warning against politicization of the process. National Assembly Speaker Dr. Moses Wetangula led the charge, accusing some politicians of misleading farmers to boost their own political relevance.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula led a barrage of Western leaders to launch a series of projects within Bungoma County in sessions that were not absent. Political rhetoric hitting out at political naysayers on the government's plan to revive sugar factories in the region.
Anda ya Nzoia inafufuliwa. Sasa mfadhili ameingia na mumeona watu wakipiga kelele. Mtu halimi miwa, mtu hata halimi chochote. Mtu kama Eugene Wamalwa sijawahi kusikia hata amelima njugu. Hakuna. Lakini hako hapa anapiga kelele kweli kweli. Watu wasiboreshe Nzoia.
In a pointed remark, Wetangula urged critics to focus on facts and farming, not personal agendas.
Kama mkulima huko Mount Kenya anapata 124 per kilo. Si Mount Elgon pia ni mlima?
With Kandunyi MP emphasizing the factory's significance, likening the community expectations to those of an expectant mother, hopeful for a successful rebirth of the sugar factory.
Watu wetu, tukiongea juu ya maneno ya Nzoia, tufikirie huyo mkulima ambaye alikuwa halipwi pesa. Tufikirie juu ya huyo mfanyikazi ambaye alikuwa halipwi pesa.
Kuna matabeli wengine kutoka kule Trans Nzoia. Kama mtu ameshindwa kazi, kazi yake ni mambo ya ukabila, kazi yake ni kutusi viongozi, hiyo sisi tunasema hiyo ni pepo.
Governor Kenneth Lusaka confirmed that 7.7 million shillings has been disbursed to pay retirees, with further assurance that workers' dues will also be honored promptly.
Here to ensure that you benefit as much as you can. Tunataka Nzoia mkulima alipe on time, the workers to be paid on time, so that they also benefit the way other people are benefiting in other areas.
Political cannons went out against outspoken government critics with a call for leaders to rise above division and focus on development.
For those who have failed in politics, those who have failed in many other ways, we will not allow them to resurrect through Nzoia. Because we know that Nzoia is going to work and work for the people of Bungoma.
And a newly signed 30-year lease agreement for state-owned sugar factories, that is Nzoia, Chamilil, Soni and Muhoroni, have been handed over to private operators in a bid to breathe life to the struggling industry, a decision that has sparked various sentiments in the region.
Nataka niulize viongozi tupeane heshima. If Wetangula was not the Speaker of the National Assembly, this would not have happened. And this is going to transform this place forever. Hii itaishi milele na milele.
The Western leaders pledged solidarity in transforming the region through development while avoiding political distractions.
We don't have time for idle talk. We don't have time for reckless behavior. And we don't have time for continuously irritating others with bad behavior.
Blue Smile Hassan, KUTV.
And now we're taking you back to a story where former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua urged the Kamba and the Mount Kenya communities to come together in readiness for 2027 elections. That story is ready for you in its full package. Let's have a look at it.
Rigathi Gachagua, the former Deputy President, pitched camp in Athi River, Machakos County, where he pledged to sue together a political vehicle that will bulldoze past the Kenya Kwanza coalition in the 2027 general elections.
Sisi tumekuja kutangaza ya kwamba sisi ni marafiki wenu. Siku William Ruto ametuaibisha pale kwa bunge. Huyu Kalonzo Musyoka, maseneta ya Wiper na wabunge ndio walifunika sisi uchi.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka committed to the move with his Democracy for Citizens Party counterpart on a course to form the next government.
Ili kuhakikisha kwamba Kenya mpya imezaliwa na kwamba hii sio Kenya itakubali mfisadi, muongo. Kenya hii ile itakubali unyanyasaji, uuaji.
With an entourage of DAPK party leader Eugene Wamalwa and Nyandarua Senator John Matthew, the opposition grouping fired salvos at the government and the blossoming relationship between the President William Ruto and the ODM leader Raila Odinga.
Tanzania tumesema one term. Hapa Matumu nasemaje? Kule Kakamega tumesema one term. Kitui mnasemaje? Kule Busia na hata Vihiga tumesema one term. Makueni mnasemaje? Ukambani mnasemaje? Ruto.
Raila Odinga, wakati unatuambia huko Kisumu maneno ya Kalonzo Musyoka, siku Kalonzo ulitafuta kiongozi wa kusimama na wewe. Kalonzo Musyoka alisimama na wewe. Wewe ulienda kulia ati umeibiwa kura. Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua hawezi kuibiwa kura.
Ya jamii ya Wakamba kutafuta heshima ya jamii ni sasa. Na njia ya nyinyi kuheshimika, ni kuungana nyuma ya kiongozi huyu Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
The opposition has pledged a pact of comradeship that they intend to use to achieve their agenda to make President William Ruto a one-term president, as they express dissent with various state initiatives.
Nyinyi majenzi ndio dawa ya kasongo.
Mimi nataka nimuulize ndugu yangu Raila, kwa nini nataka Raila anijibu sahihi wako na Ruto? Nimuulize swali. Watoto wetu waliposema kaeni nyuma, wasema stay at home, wacha tukamilisha hii kazi. Kwa nini watoto waliuawa 2024 badala ya kuwaunga mkono tunawaachilia mbali?
Mimi ni political scientist na mimi napiga hesabu ya siasa. Tangu tuanze mambo ya multipartyism, sijaenda ile pande ya kushindwa. Pahali unaona Rigiji ako, hiyo ndio timu ambaye itashinda.
Emmanuel Kutosi, KUTV.
All right, let's move on. And now, insecurity residents, beg your pardon, residents of Amagoro are raising alarm over rising cases of theft and insecurity that continue to disrupt their businesses and peace of mind. Speaking at the Amagoro police station, residents led by Kennedy Epalat, Hussein Ikomo, and Beatrice Akiria expressed fears that the situation could worsen if police post is relocated. They are urging authorities to prioritize security and maintain the station's presence in the area to curb escalating crime.
Nimeambiwa hospitali anataka kuhamisha patrol base apeleke kwake huko chini. Sijajua sababu ya yeye kutoa patrol base hapa hivi kupeleka huko chini. Wakati tumeingilia kati kumuuliza sababu gani unataka kuhamisha patrol base kuteremsha huko chini. Chenye anatueleza eti stima ilikatwa patrol base. Na hii patrol base imekuwa tangu kitambo ikiwa hapa hivi. Shida yenye naulize kitu moja. Hao hospitali wenye wamekuwa wakiwa hapa Amagoro, hii stima ilikuwa inalipwa aje? Kwani imefikia wakati yeye ameletwa hapa Amagoro ndio stima ikashindwa wakashindwa kulipa stima ya patrol base.
And the government is gearing up plans to establish 47 county aggregation and industrial parks, one in each county, to drive value addition, manufacturing and industrial growth. Construction in 13 counties, including Meru, Homa Bay, Busia and Garissa, is set to conclude by August 31st, 2025, with each park costing 500 million shillings. These projects have been co-funded by the national and county governments. Roads, electricity, water and ICT services are being provided alongside backward linkages like ward cooperatives and extension services. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, COG Chair Ahmed Abdullahi and senior officials have received updates on the progress of the 13 priority parks.
Your KUTV. The utilities are on site. At the same time, roads, electricity, ICT, water. And I'm already steering that process. I don't know whether the people we were with last week are here. The power people, the water people, the roads people, they were here, and energy people. I told them we do that for KUTVs, for special economic zones. Otherwise, we'll have projects which will be built and they are not operational.
Now, learning has been paralyzed in Arabuko Primary School, that is in Kakuyuni, Kilifi County, after angry parents staged protests demanding the removal of the head teacher and called on the Ministry of Education to intervene. The parents accused the school administration of mismanaging funds, which they claim has led to poor academic performance and a steady decline in the school's infrastructure.
Learning activities at Arabuko Primary School have come out to a halt following protest by concerned parents who are demanding the immediate removal of the head teacher. The parents allege that financial mismanagement by the school leadership has significantly contributed to a drop in student performance and neglected school facilities. In a show of frustration, the parents locked the head teacher's office and phone not to return home until action is taken. They claim that since the current head teacher took over, the school has suffered from administrative chaos and poor resources management.
Manake mzazi akitaka kujua chenye kinaendelea shule hana uwazi. Tukijua nini pesa zenye zimetolewa na wazazi wajue ni pesa ngapi, hataki kueleza.
According to the parents, funds intended for school development have been misappropriated, raising serious questions about transparency and accountability. They say the classrooms are deteriorating, yet the school receives support that seemingly doesn't translate to feasible improvements.
Mwalimu tumechokana naye, tunaomba serikali ituletee head teacher mwingine.
Kusema kweli tumechoka na huyu bwana kwa sababu kuna mambo fulani yenye huwa anafanya na sisi kama community ni kama yametukoroga kichwa.
The protesting parents are now calling on the Ministry of Education to step in urgently to resolve the impasse. They insist the leadership crisis is not just affecting the school's operations but also directly harming students who have now been forced to stay at home.
Watoto wetu hawajakuwa registered kwa ile portal. Kwa hivyo watoto wetu ni kama wanawapotosha. Tuko tunalipa pesa hapa lakini pesa ya wazazi hatuioni.
With tensions still simmering at Arabuko Sokoke Primary School, the Kakuyuni community is pinning its hope on swift government intervention to restore order and put learning back on track. Edward Sakwa, KUTV, Nairobi.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Time for us to take another short break right here on KUTV Primetime News tonight. We have so much more ahead, so keep it here.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mukwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu mwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia.
They find it quite strange talking to you.
We should just make schools integrated,
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
So my name is Kutv. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the CAFE project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Eva Hutoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. Welcome back. Now, let's go back to a story that we had not covered, yes, from Embu County. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has broken his silence on the rising insecurity in Embu County, promising swift and firm state action following days of protest by the business community. Speaking just 2 days after traders decried a wave of gang-related robberies, the deputy president assured residents that the government will not tolerate criminal networks turning Embu into a lawless zone. He further urged leaders to steer clear of divisive politics, emphasizing the need for unity and constructive dialogue to restore public trust and safety. His remarks come amid growing pressure on security agencies, to act decisively and rebuild community confidence.
Kuwa na shida ya security. Hiyo maneno nimeona kwa runinga, nikapigiwa simu na marafiki zangu hapa, wengine wenu mko hapa. Mukaniambia there is a serious problem ya insecurity. Na juzi maduka kadhaa yamevunjwa na wakora. Mimi niko hapa kwa niaba ya serikali kusema ya kwamba hatuwezi kukubali watu wetu wa Embu wateswe na wakora na wezi ambao wanametawala hapa, ionekane kama serikali hailendi watu yao. Na jana wakati nilipata hiyo habari, nimeongea na security team ya hapa na nimeongea na wakuu wote wa polisi na wakuu wa usalama katika taifa la Kenya. Na jana tumetuma hapa special team kutoka Nairobi ambayo inakuja kunyoroshana na hao wakora hapa.
2 people are currently receiving treatment at Kangundo Level 4 Hospital in Machakos County after being confirmed to have contracted the Mpox virus, formerly known as monkeypox. According to the hospital's medical superintendent, Dr. Juliet Munyao, the patients began showing symptoms last Friday, including a runny nose, headaches, and skin rashes. Fortunately, both individuals have since been placed in isolation units to prevent further spread of the disease. Kangundo Sub-County Public Health Officer Frederick Kimemia has urged residents to follow all public health guidelines to help contain the virus. He also issued a reminder to remain alert for symptoms and seek immediate medical attention, adding that prevention is always better than panic. Consequently, the Ministry of Health has stepped up efforts to increase public awareness, promising continued community sensitization campaigns. After all, when it comes to public health, knowing is half the battle. The other half is soap and distance.
Received 2 cases of Mpox virus disease. We got them on Friday, and immediately our team got into effect, did the necessary tests, took to Nairobi, and the tests were confirmed yesterday that they are Mpox positive. Currently they are under care by our able doctors. We are treating them, and the supplies have been plentifully supplied, and at the moment they are doing very well.
Ukipata dalili ambayo mwili yako iko na joto mingi, umepata rashes ambazo zinatokea uzaha, na pia kuna kuvimba kwa lymph nodes ambazo hizo dalili hizo ndio meja ambazo unaangalia kwanza, alafu unasikia mwili umechoka kama mtu ako na malaria ama vitu kama hizo. So ni mzuri ufike hospitali ndio tuweze kukushughulikia. Kwa sasa watu wajifunze kunawa mikono kwa sababu huo mkono unaweza kuwa umeshika mahali ambapo kuko na infection na ukaweza kukuambukiza.
And leaders and residents of Roiro are urging the upgrade of Roiro Level 4 Hospital to Level 5 to meet rising healthcare demands. The push comes amid growing pressure on the facility, which currently serves over 700,000 residents from Roiro and neighboring constituencies, making it busier than some airports on a Monday morning. Roiro MP Simon Kingara highlighted that the elevation would unlock more government funding and enhance healthcare services. Hospital doctors led by Dr. Patient Wanjiru, together with residents, emphasized the urgent need to improve the hospital's facilities to provide better specialized care for the growing community.
Hospitali hii imepandishwa ngazi na kutoka kitengo cha 4 mpaka kitengo cha 5, ukipenda level 5, ndio iweze kufaidika na ufadhili mwingi unafanyika hapa nchini, ukizingatia kuwa hilo ndio ni bunge lililo na watu wengi. Kinatakiwa kuwa hapa cha muhimu sana ni theater, kwa sababu ile theater iko hapa ni dogo, na vile vile chumba cha kuwekea maiti, kwa sababu wakati hospitali inakuwa kubwa mambo kama hayo hupatikana.
Mimi naongea kuhusu hiyo ofisi tukifunguliwa ya social work, itakuwa ikitusaidia kama sisi CHPs, tukituma wagonjwa wetu hapo wanakuja, pengine hawana na kuna wagonjwa wenye wanalazwa wanamaliza matibabu bado wamekwama huku juu ya kulipa hiyo bill, lakini sasa social work ikiingia kutakuwa nchwa.
A family from Ongaroi village in Teso South Sub-County is appealing to the government for urgent answers over the mysterious disappearance of their kin, Francis Echelepata. He vanished 8 months ago, shortly after attending a court session. The family suspects foul play and wants the authorities to reveal his whereabouts, dead or alive.
Francis Eklepata had been arrested in connection with a robbery case. Although released on bond after appearing in court, he disappeared in October last year and has since not been seen. The silence has been deafening for his family, who have been left in distress, clinging to hope and haunted by uncertainty.
Francis alipotea tarehe 7.
Now learning has been paralyzed in Arabuko Primary School. Taking the short break right here.
Alikuwa na kesi Naivasha. Alitoka hapa nyumbani tarehe 30 mwezi wa 10 mwaka jana. Mention ya kesi yake ilikuwa tarehe 31. Atoka
22 minutes to the
tarehe hiyo 31 akitoka aliniambia kesi imekuwa lakini maahirishwa mpaka tarehe 13 mwezi wa 4 mwaka huu. Toka hapo tukaongea na yeye. Tarehe 4 niliongea na yeye. Tarehe 5 nikaongea na yeye. Tarehe 6 sikuongea na yeye. Na 7. Tarehe 7 rafiki yake mmoja ndiye alinipigia simu kutoka Malaba. Kiniambia anatafuta Frank kwa simu hapatikani. Nikamwambia acha mimi nijaribu nimtafute. Kwenda kwa simu sikumpata pia mimi.
Judith Nyamboke, Francis's wife, says the family received disturbing phone calls from the prime suspect believed to have been the last person seen with Francis just hours before his phone went off permanently. Since then, it has been radio silence and sleepless nights.
Nimemwacha Frank kiwanja ndege Nairobi.
She says the family had even used their title deed to secure Francis's bail, trusting he will return to clear his name. Instead, they've been left with a vanished husband, an unpaid loan, and a growing mountain of questions.
Nasikia mtoto wangu amepotea. Ndio mimi nasema serikali anisaidie, mimi nahangaika na watoto yake hapa nyumbani. Kuna mtu anasaidia mimi. Yeye ndiye alikuwa anasaidia mimi.
Now the family is pleading with the government and security agencies to help trace Francis alive or not for the sake of justice and closure. Local leaders and concerned residents have also added their voice to the call, demanding a full investigation into Francis's disappearance and the role of DCI officers from Nakuru who had been handling the case.
Learning has been paralyzed in Arabuko Primary School, that is after angry
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control rooms. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544.
Manake mzazi akitaka kujua chenye kinaendelea shule hana uwazi.
Access to knowledge. Solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Welcome back. It's time for us now to have sports news and its system all set ahead of the highly anticipated ABSA Kip Keino Classic Continental Tour set for 31st of May 2025 at the Ulinzi Complex in Nairobi. Both local and foreign athletes will take it to the pitch to battle out for glory in the 6th edition of the Kip Keino Classic Tour that continues to distinguish itself as a top-ranking one-day meet athletic championship.
The clock ticks and the big stage awaits for the highly anticipated Kip Keino Classic set for this Saturday at Ulinzi Complex Stadium.
The biggest thing for me for the last couple of races, including this one and the next one, is just to get into that rhythm. You know, I took 7 months off from competing, so it's all about just getting into that rhythm. And last week in Rabat showed that my start is back, and now getting in together tomorrow for the Kip Keino Classic, and I'm just praying for a perfect race tomorrow.
My expectation for tomorrow is basically to stay consistent, really. Like, I would love to stay close to my PB, 11.0, or to get a PR would be even better and more exciting because I feel like I constantly run 11.0, so I really would want a 10.
With both local and foreign athletes ready to conquer the 6th edition of Kip Keino Classic, the mood is electric. For Sarah Mora, Kip Keino Classic present yet another perfect opportunity for her to bounce back from last edition's disappointment.
Actually, I can say last year during the trials for Olympics, it was so disappointing for me. Tunakubali pia kuna kushinda na kushindwa, kuna disappointments. Yeah, tuna accept zote. Ndio maana nimechipanga kwa hii race sasa, going for tomorrow, and I'm expecting to get qualification if possible.
The annual Continental Gold event plays a critical role engaging athletes ahead of the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo and for global rankings. But for the Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala, what is important at the end of the day for both young and experienced athletes is to enjoy the moment without pressure.
When you get these opportunities to compete at high level, it's all about enjoying the moment. Don't focus on winning. because it will be unrealistic to focus on that. And please, the media guys, don't put pressure on the young kids, because that's what gets into their heads, and you know, you get a kid that's 3 years into the game and out for the rest of his life. So let's take them at ease, you know. They're still young, they need to know how to handle the pressure that comes with the media and the expectations. And then, yes, they can have a longevity in this career.
For athletes, the stage for the 6th edition of KUTVNEWS Classic is set, and a date with destiny awaits. Uma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
And engines are roaring and spirits are high as 64 teams prepare for the 2025 Rhino Charge, set to take off this Saturday at Saimo Soi in Baringo North. The thrilling off-road motorsport event, now in its 36th edition, is more than just a race. It's a bold drive for environmental conservation. With 325.8 million Kenya shillings already raised, teams like the EV Explorers, Fat Rhinos, among others, will battle rugged terrain to support Rhino Arc mission to protect Kenya's vital ecosystems and wildlife habitats.
Today we are at Saimo Soi. This is the venue for the Rhino Charge of 2025. We are here in Baringo North, in one of the most stunning environment and wild environment of Kenya. So far, everything is going extremely well. Today, it's scrutineering, is the day when all the cars, we have 64 cars today, are coming here to be checked and to make sure that they are complying with all the rules and regulations that the organizer have been setting towards, on one side, ensuring safety for the drivers, but also to ensure a fair gameplay between the various competitors.
Very excited to be here. It's really a historic day. It's the first time ever, and we've got so much support from everybody. Everyone's really excited to see the car, and for us this is success. The fact that we are starting is success.
I hope you can do well. We haven't won it for a few years, but we've won it once. We want to try and win it again this year.
It is 3 minutes to 10 p.m. I told you we were going to be here for max 45 minutes, but as my producer would prove me wrong, it was an hour of information of happenings in the country and beyond our borders. Thanks to that particular producer I've just mentioned. His name is Emmanuel Kutosi, who is just one of the key editors in the newsroom, for giving these stories a touch of poetry to be able to communicate what we had in store for you this evening. Not forgetting my director, Conchela Melton, and my longtime brother and friend, Francis Minor, in the technical, amongst many other people who have been part of this particular bulletin, reporters, sub-editors, editors, producers, and technical people, cameramen, playout operators, video mixers, graphics, live graphics controllers, everyone who has been part of this particular conversation. And not forgetting my brother who is in red tonight, Samuel Kello. And I just want to wish you a good night and a blessed weekend that starts right about now. May you enjoy the weekend and enjoy peace and great joy in your time as we wait for yet another week. Good night and God bless till we see each other pretty soon.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye